What's up, guys? Welcome back, man, to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast, man. Sorry we're running a little bit late, guys, but life calls, duties calls, or what have you. So didn't think it was necessary to tweet it out just a few minutes late. So most of you guys don't even know we're on anyway until we actually go live. So I guess we're not missing anything. Let me change the camera up here. But welcome, man. I'll give you guys a few minutes to get up in here, and we'll tell you what we'll be talking about tonight. Definitely where we could start off. We told you guys last week, man, we could kind of chime back in on some of the trade stuff that happened in the NBA, give our thoughts about what teams are looking like now. I'll actually refer that to Smitty more than myself. I know he follows basketball a little closer than I do. I watch it, but Smitty knows a little more about the ins and outs, so he may have some more insight. I'll kind of speak on what I've seen briefly. But outside of that, just like what it says in the title, man, we're going to talk about Madden. First of all, Madden NFL 19. I'm going to give you my reasons, and I'm sure Smitty doesn't have a problem chiming in on this. Why we feel like it's a make or break year, man. I mean, we'll dive into it a little more. I know what some people are going to say. Oh, you guys always say next. No. It's none of that. It's none of that. Wait till next year, Jazz. We're telling you from our thoughts why we feel like it's a make or break year for us. Has nothing to do with 3-year plans, none of that jazz. So hold tight for that. We'll get into that. And then kind of, alluding to the same thing, man, we'll definitely talk about the top 5 connected franchise features. This will be our own personal. I actually have a video rendering right now, man. I thought it would be up before the show, but I did a pretty decent video as far as length, about 8-9 minutes, giving you my top 5. The premise behind it, guys, would be more so we know we can't get everything done in 1 year. So what are some of the things that you think top 5 features that the community have asked for, or maybe you asked for, that will restore your faith in franchise moving forward? So, kind of interesting topic there as far as, not just throwing out, top, oh, hey, this should be in there, that should be in there. No, let's talk real about some stuff that would restore your faith in saying, okay, maybe they will, progress franchise. All right, so that's what we'll talk about. I know we had a couple guys that asked to come on. Well, at least one guy asked to come on the show. Let me go get his information here. We'll definitely get him in as soon as he wants to come in. I know exactly. Here it is. I was about to say I know exactly who it is, but I just want to make sure I get the name right. My man, Nighthawks fan. He asked to come on. I got your email, so if you're here already, just let us know when you want to come on, and we'll bring you on. And anybody else, all you have to do is shoot us an email, and we'll get you on the show. So, without further ado, Smitty, man, let me throw it to you first. Let's hit the trade stuff real quick, then we'll dive into the Madden stuff. What's your thoughts, man? It's been a week. What are your thoughts currently about Cavs and other teams that may have lost and gained players? How are things looking so far?
Well, I mean, for the Cavs right now, it's only been a few games, so it's nothing to really look at in depth with at this point in time. Mm-hmm. But all in all, I mean, LeBron looks very much rejuvenated. Like, he looks night and day, like very enthusiastic in terms of playing now versus how it was basically a week ago. So they've won these past few games. They're playing at a very high clip right now. J.R. Smith is balling. Like, they're balling. Now, are they going to keep up playing at this clip? No, I don't think so. It's gonna get to a normal point. But while LeBron doesn't have the superstar piece, so to speak, or pieces, these guys are good role players. Like, they're very capable. So there's going to be, LeBron's going to step up, ball, do what he needs to do. But at the same time, he has these other complementary pieces now that are willing to just step up and do what they need to do to get the job done. Now, the difference here is going to be, everybody healthy when it comes time to the playoff run. What are these guys going to do? You know, especially if they get to the finals. That's going to be a big thing right there. Jordan Clarkson never been there. Larry Nance never been there. Rodney Hood never been there. And you're expecting, you know, and these guys are going to have to step up to a level that they haven't been at before. So that's going to be that's really going to be interesting. But outside of that, I mean, I say really my Pistons, they made the moves they made. I mean, we made the Blake Griffin move. We've lost a few games. We started out winning, but then we won four in a row, and then we lost 3. We beat Atlanta the other day to close out, basically going into the All-Star break. So we did all right. I don't like the fact that we signed Jameer Nelson. I really don't understand that. Dude he's done. There's nothing he's bringing to the table that we couldn't already get. And plus we have Kay Felder, which was in the G League. He's a point guard. We got Kay Felder. We also got I can't pronounce my man's name, but he's a guy that we had signed. We had him on the team. He was doing a good job for us. So it's like we have 2 other point guards. We still don't have Reggie Jackson back. But people here in Detroit acting like Reggie Jackson is going to be Reggie Jackson is going to be the piece. Mm-hmm. He's going to get us over the hump. And it's like, dude, he's not a defensive asset. He's a decent player, but he's not this big time player that once we get him back, it's time to take over. I mean, this is the same guy that when healthy, Detroit fans especially would say, put Ish in there instead. Put Reggie on the bench or trade Reggie. Now all of a sudden we need him back. So I really don't understand that. I really don't understand Stan Van Gundy and his means with this, because you drafted a guard in Spencer Dinwiddie, didn't play him, and now this dude is, a legit player in the NBA now over in Brooklyn. You had the opportunity to cash in on this dude and you didn't invest in him. You got these other guys, you get these guards or whatever, whether you sign them on, trade for them, whatever, and you still haven't used them. So it's like, what's the deal? When are you going to start using these guys? So I don't know, man. I can't call it. That's why I'm just watching the Pistons at this point. I don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully they do something, bring something to the table, but we'll see. But otherwise, though, there weren't any big time moves that I could think of that just really took a team over the top that I could think of. So, but yeah, outside of that, I'm just looking to see what happens with the playoff race, in about 2 months' time. This cat Antoine, man.
Look at your boy Antoine at it again.
Here we go again, man. $50, bro.
Man, come on. You're killing us, man.
It's crazy.
Thank you. Let me tell you all about Antoine real quick, guys. Him and Smooth the other night. I hate to even put him out there, but I'm streaming. And these guys got into a donation battle.
Oh, man.
I got 50, 10 on it. I got 10 on it. Here goes 20. Here goes. I was like, yo, y'all need to stop, man. Y'all really need to stop. But much love, man. Always appreciate you. Always, always. As a matter of fact, I was just about to write back to you. Antoine guy says he might want to come on the show. He says he's new to it, not really sure what he needs to do. All we need, man, is an email address. We send you the email. You click on the link to accept it. And that's it. That's all you got to do. So, again, thank you for the donations and the continued donations. Let's not single it out to one. This is something he continues to do along with others. Appreciate every one of you guys. But go ahead, Smitty. You had some last thoughts real quick?
No, that was it. You go ahead, man.
Yeah, just like you, man. I mean, I haven't really paid attention to much of it as far as all teams. But, of course, the elephant in the room is going to be the Cavs. Everybody's looking to see, are they back and are they the threat? Like you said, I mean, right now, what I'm seeing with my eyes is LeBron got some youth in there to help him out. Some hustle guys, some veteran guys, a guy in Rodney Hood that's kind of streaky. He could, people forget how tall and how big this guy is. He could end up having a night where he goes off, and then he can have a night when he don't do nothing. So kind of streaky. Maybe if you can keep him consistent, he's going to help you out, I think, down the stretch. George Hill, again, another guy, length guy that could do some things defensively. We all have seen this guy play in various places, can shoot the ball. Jordan Clarkson, I think he's an up and coming. I don't, like you said, I don't think they got any superstars, but with a guy like Clarkson and a guy like Larry Nance Jr., which I like this dude, man, because for whatever reason, me staying up late, I happen to catch a lot of Laker games, and I've been watching Nance Jr. for a while. I just like his effort. You know what I mean? He kind of now, this is not a good comparison, but I think Smitty will know where I'm going with it. He kind of reminds me of like a more athletic, more capable Dennis Rodman in terms of attitude, not rebounding and all that. I'm just saying this is a guy that's just going to hustle, do what he can, get you this, get you that, and can score a little bit. So I think little pieces like that is going to help them when they could, put guys on the bench and throw those guys out there for a little while because they're hungry. Clarkson and Nance Jr. are hungry dudes, young, hungry guys. They're going to try to ball, and they're going to give maximum effort. So, like you said, Smitty, if they can continue to keep up what they're doing, I don't know if they will. It's going to be interesting, man. And Boston is they're starting to look a little more streaky now. They're not looking like the powerhouse that they started off as. So, we all know what it is in the East. Toronto, you got to keep an eye on those guys. My Sixers might mess around and sneak up in the playoffs. I would love to see that happen. Nice little young nucleus we got going on out there. Outside of that, man, I hope, Smitty, I don't know if you saw it, but I hope some of you guys saw that game last night. The Warriors and the Blazers. I just happened to cut it on. Man, what a phenomenal basketball game. Kevin Durant was going ridiculously ham out there, to use an old word. Ham. Lost his mind. Actually, probably could have won the game had his heel not grazed the outside line, and they called him out. Mm-hmm. He hit the shot. That could have sealed it. You never know. Damian Lillard, with his tenacity, I love the way he plays. I just hate that he plays in Portland because they don't got no real chance. Let's be honest. And then your boy McCollum, he's another dude that's quick to pull the trigger. Like he's not scared. He doesn't waver. They was D'ing up Curry. Curry had kind of an off night. It was just a good game, man. It went down to the wire. Portland able to pull it out. So it was interesting. And, with that loss, the Rockets actually go into first place, heading into the playoff. Not playoff, but All-Star break. So it's going to be interesting, Smitty, man. I don't know. I still don't know, Smitty, if any team in the West or East can outlast the Warriors in a 7-game series. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I don't know. Because let's think, guys. Granted, they didn't have Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was on the other end of things, but I didn't think that OKC that year would have been able to get up 3-1 on those guys, and they ultimately lost. But with Kevin Durant, man, on that team and him kind of really being the man, Smitty and I watched it together last year when we was at EA Play, how they just finished off the, finals. That's a deadly thing, man, when KD is the guy. Like, he really, to me, it was a changing of the guard when he got there. Like, he's the man now. Of course, Steph Curry is phenomenal, but it seems like they play through KD.
Oh, no. So? I wouldn't necessarily say that, only because it's like this. KD is the scorer because that's what he is. He's a superstar scorer. Mm-hmm. That could play not bad defense either. But at the end of the day, see, that's the thing about the Golden State Warriors.
It could be anybody.
It could be any. Like, they got four dudes that could generally just go off at any point in time. So I can't put it all on and just say, yo, this is just KD's outright. Like, KD is the main scorer and he's the superstar. So then that's why it's like, okay, yes, he's the guy. But in principle, if it's like, if Steph could go off and bust for like 35, 40, if it really got to that point, he could be like, all right, sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, whatever.
You know what I'm saying? Jumping the gun a little bit. You're right.
So, but he's known to be that guy. So that's why it's looked at like, this is his team because they're cool with that. And that's the whole thing. They're just like, whatever works. I mean, look, I got to give props to Steve Kerr, even though it was the Phoenix Suns, and I know people made a big deal because like, oh, it's Phoenix. But I respect the fact that he did something different. They're tired of hearing me. They're saying that the mental fatigue is sinking in a bit with the Warriors players because they're having some friction with the coach and all that stuff. He let the players coach themselves. Like, I'm going to step off to the side and I'm going to let y'all do it. These dudes take time out. You got Iguodala, gave him the whiteboard. You got Iggy drawing up plays and they're communicating. You got Draymond drawing up plays, communicate. Like, and they having their little jokey jokes with each other and stuff like that. This is the stuff that they do. And that's the kind of stuff. And you beat this team by nearly 50 points.
Yeah.
The coach stepped away. Now, I know, like I said, it's not the great team that you played against to do this with, but the bottom line is, okay, what if they did that against a more notable squad? What if they did that kind of stuff and say, you know what, I'm going to let y'all do it? When you let players do that kind of stuff, finals is going to be easy for them to communicate. That's just a whole nother layer of communication dynamic you just let them have. I'm going to let y'all coach yourselves. I'm going to sit over here on the side and y'all make it happen. That's huge.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And if you could do that kind of stuff, that's what I'm saying. If you could communicate like that and get that kind of camaraderie in the timeouts like that, that's the sky's the limit on the court, especially when it really matters. These dudes they're in the playoffs. There's a great chance they're locked in for the finals, barring injury. Unless there's some kind of big time injury that happens, these guys more than likely are a lock for the finals. It's going to be a tougher road. I believe that for sure, but I still believe that it's going to be the Warriors in the finals, and I think it'll be between Boston and Boston and Cleveland to get out. I can't say Toronto because Toronto does a great job during the season and falls off. I can't say Washington. I wouldn't give it to Washington. Not yet. Unless they kick their game up to a whole nother level. And I know that's DJ's squad, but they got to kick it up to a whole nother level if they're honestly going to come out the East. And basically, if they came out the East, they're getting obliterated in the finals. So that's no question about that. But no, that's all I got, man. Throw it back to you, bro.
That's all I got on that front, man. But we can go ahead and get in high gear and get it going, man. I see we already got my man up in here, Nighthawks fan. So, man, we happy to have you. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and go to work, man. Whatever you got for us, let's do it.
All right. What's up, everybody? Y'all can hear me.
What up?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
We hear you.
All right, perfect. All right, I just want to talk about a couple things. So, first thing, Madden 19. I saw the title said make or break year, right? So a couple of things with that. Here's how I feel about it. I'm going to quote a former wrestler I used to like. I think y'all know him. Y2J, the king of rock and roller. He said something a long time ago. It's put up or shut the hell up time for EA Sports in that. It's time. It's time. It is basically time. Now, I want to say something also this. They need to pull some of that stuff from Longshot, man. We got a scouting combine in there. They need to throw that over in the franchise. I don't want to hear you can't do that. It's already in the game. What do you mean you can't pull it over? I don't want to hear that. You got the real NFL draft that you saw on Longshot. If any of y'all played that mode, at the end when you get drafted or whatever, you have that already there. All you got to do is pull it from Longshot, throw it in the franchise. We pretty much got everything we need in Longshot. We just got to pull it over. Now I know that's hard. That's harder to do than being said. And I remember what you said last week, Sim. You said something about Sim players seem like they're getting pushed to the side. Well, I kind of agree with you a little bit there because it does look like EA Sports is focusing more on MUT. Because look at the new content they just released. I don't know if you've been on Madden today, but they just released a new promo out today. Brand new promo.
Yep.
You know? And I think it's a shame that franchise doesn't get looked at all. I mean, yeah, they gave us some update in this title update that they gave us for franchise. I didn't even know there was a problem in the scouting for franchise. I didn't even know that was an issue.
That's because scouting sucks. Nobody really cares.
So, I mean, I read freaking, I forget the developer's name. I think his name is White or something. I read his tweet about some update that was going on for franchise mode, and I'm like, is this really necessary? You're kind of late with that. But, and I also remember a lot of you guys. I want to get on a lot of you Sim guys. I'm not trying to bash Sim, Azure, or Smitty here. It's the rest of you guys in the chat. I saw what you guys were saying about MUT, how it's trying to ruin Madden.
Speak on it.
MUT doesn't ruin Madden. We as the community ruin Madden because we complain too much.
Yep.
I mean, MUT's a great mode. I like it. I personally like to play with Michael Vick, rookie card. You know, go online and compete with some of the best people online. I like doing that. I mean, for the rest of y'all, I understand y'all franchise guy. You like to build up your team, play the GM, because most of us will never own an NFL team in our lifetime. So I get it. I get it. We all are different when it comes to the game modes. I like franchise and I like MUT. They both fine to me. I just feel that franchise mode is left behind because I believe that Sim, you were right again. I think they're trying to push y'all, or maybe it was Azure that tweeted that out. I think it was Azure that tweeted that out and said that they're trying to push y'all to MUT. It's like they're trying to push y'all to play franchise mode in MUT, which I did find out over the weekend. MUT does have Sim-style leagues. I didn't even know that, but they actually have MUT franchise. I didn't even know you can play 32 franchise with MUT teams, but I found that over the weekend, which is crazy. So I do feel in a way, EA's like, okay, let's get out with the old. It's in with the new. Sim, Smitty, Azure, you guys are game changers. Bring your friends on over to MUT and start that 32-man league, that SSR league in MUT. Why don't y'all just start it over there? I mean, y'all don't have to worry about salary cap. Y'all can just get y'all players from the auction house. You all set. I mean, Sim, he want to play with his old Jerome Bettis. There it is. You can go get you a Jerome Bettis. 100K coins. Sim already got his Jerome Bettis. He ready to roll. He want to cut Le'Veon Bell. He can cut him. Smitty can pick him up for 250K. Bam. Smitty got freaking Le'Veon Bell. He ain't even had to negotiate with Sim to even trade with him. He just got him for 250 coins because he sold him and cut him just like that. So what y'all think, man?
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick, man. I want to hear what Smitty got to say. That's actually an interesting dynamic, man, because it's just like you said. We've always kind of been like this, and I'll be honest, man. Some years ago, it kind of took me a while to realize that most people want the same thing. They just play the game differently. Like I said, man, Gibbs and Farrells was the guys who really brought that delight to me. But I feel like you should be able to have, if for those of us who like to play MUT and want to play more sim type style, you should have stuff like that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Where you see some guys, and we all know, we see them on Twitter, it's just sim style or nothing. And to me, you can't put a blanket statement on it. I mean, the blanket statement can be make real football. Whether you playing MUT, you playing CFM, whatever you're doing, the football field is where we're determining whether or not this game is replicating football. Outside of that, do whatever you want. Have MUT, have fantasy draft, have all of that. Just make the game. And to me, Smitty has said this before, we really feel like that esports is going to make the game better. It has to, because they can't afford to keep having these mishaps during these tournaments that, I mean, come on, man. I mean, like the last one we saw not too long ago. I mean, RG and them, you know, bless them, but they couldn't even comment. People was mad that they didn't comment on the glitch, and I'm like, come on, sit in their shoes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be in their shoes. What they look like sitting up there. RG is a dev and an employee. What he look like sitting there commentating the game on a big stage and saying, "Oh, look at the glitch." So we can't. Come on, don't act like that. But they saw it. And they know that was a bad look. So I actually think the Mutt crowd, being where we play, well, not we, but those who are able to play in those tournaments, that's going to showcase the game the most. And I think it has no choice but to start, you know, resembling what we all would want as a football game, or, you know, it's going to look bad all around. What you think, Smitty?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, well, I was talking to Sim about a little bit earlier. Well, before the show started, and I had tweeted about it earlier as well. Clip FIFA tournament. That's the state. Listen, it's on the comp setting, okay? You know, and talking about Madden. That's the way it's going to be displayed. Regardless of what we showcase, we could do our personal streams and do our videos and do our shows like we have our platform here that we do. But the thing is, when it comes down to it, it's being broadcast Disney XD and ESPN 3s and all that stuff. It's showcased on that comp setting. On TV, live streams, all that stuff. They're seeing the game played that way. Glitch, quote unquote, stick skill moves, all that. One linebacker covering 3 routes and all that, being able to move like FIFA has it. Okay. They had a play. Look, I was telling Sim before the show. Like I said, y'all may have saw the play or not. Dude, basically, he sham got it, my man. Okay, with like he did a trick move where he kicked the ball up and he made it as if he was going right and he shot left. He baited the user defender. He came up toward him thinking he's going right, like I'm gonna head him off. He shot that sucker left for the goal to get the basically to secure the win. There was no 2-man animation. There was no suction of him falling for a fake and all that. He just manually controlled. And because the way the player movement functions in FIFA, you got to commit. Either I'm going to commit to this one move or I'm going to commit to playing it this way, and I'm just going to live with the consequence. And that's literally what happened. See, in Madden, it's like, oh, I can make this mistake, but I can get right back. No, you can't do that. And see, that's the thing. When we talk about the game and having the segmentation with all the modes and all that stuff, whatever, the thing is that there has to be some base generalities that happen with the game. Player movement being one of those things. Everybody should have to deal with that. I don't care what kind of card you got, you know, in a tournament. But if you got a linebacker and you user control him, you need to feel the difference between user controlling him versus user controlling your D tackle, whatever. If I have a Jarrett Davis card, like, and I'm playing middle linebacker, if I have a Jarrett Davis and then later on I get a Ray Lewis should feel dramatically different than Jarrett Davis. They pretty much feel the exact same in Madden. The only difference would be hit power. Probably hit power, some speed, you know, and maybe
don't forget about block shit.
You said what?
Don't forget about block shit.
Yeah, block shit. But I mean, still, what, like, is there something really different? It should feel like it should be a difference between me playing zone coverage with Jarrett Davis, me trying to cover somebody with Jarrett Davis versus doing it with Ray. My movement should feel different when I use him. It shouldn't just be as simple as because of the because of who it is that I got, or I should just be great. I should just be able to do everything with everybody, whomever it is I want. That shouldn't be the case. So that's the problem. That's one of the big time issues with Madden, is that there has to be a real life replication in there even if it's more like of an arcade kind of mode, we need that. We need to see that on the field and it be respected. Like football in principle has to be replicated on screen. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, see, like what Kia is saying, FIFA, yeah, every game has glitch moves. Every game has glitch moves. UFC has glitchy movements that happen at times in there as well. That's fine. But at the same time, the glitchy movement doesn't happen the majority of the time. It's minority versus Madden. Madden, it's a lot. That's the thing. You're not going to see, I'm like, take the player movement in FIFA, take the movement in FIFA, and you're not going to be able to take that player movement that's done in FIFA and be able to do that in Madden. There's no way Problem's covering 3 routes with FIFA's player movement. No way in the world. He would have to literally commit to one. He'd have to either commit to one or he'd have to basically play pursuit after somebody catches it, because there's no way he's covering that many routes. You can't. And that's what the whole sliding and gliding and everything. Like Madden 25 was like the start to making that player movement that challenge. But like what you said, Nighthawk, the problem is that people complain. And when people complain, that's why that's why the movement is the way it is now. How you going to put something in that's tougher and then all of a sudden it gets softer? You see what I'm saying? It gets softer because you got people that take up issue with it and complain. That's the problem, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, this is stuff that we ran over a lot and said it many times over. And I mean, Sim shown it in his videos. I've shown it in my videos. I got another video that I got coming. I'll have coming out tomorrow morning or probably around noon. And I'm talking about the jersey pulls. I got some footage in FIFA of that. And I'm talking about that stuff. And see, that's the thing. You could run into stuff in FIFA just playing it. Just playing it. Ain't even trying to come up with stuff. And it's like, yo, I see. This is another thing I'm going to talk about. And it's easy to do. But see, when it comes to Madden, it's like the players don't feel different. You know what I'm saying? They don't truly feel as different as it should be when it comes to, you know, Madden, like how it is more in FIFA, and I'd even say PES, because the paradigm is similar there. So both of those games replicated. I need to see that in Madden. It needs to be more than just a player rating. Like I could play my career mode and I'll throw it back to Sim. I could play a career mode and you'll have younger players that you got on your squad or whatever, and they'll say, yo, they'll send you an email saying, hey, can I get an opportunity to play, coach? Could I get in, we have this next stretch of games. If I could get a chance to play, I'd appreciate it. You put them in, they're like a 56 overall player or something like that. Like they're very, very low rated, but they still have effect. They still can make some kind of legitimate impact. They don't have to be 90 some odd overall in order to do something, to just be effective. Like their physical stats, if they have the physicality stats, characteristics, they can at least be that. So they could be more of an enforcer, but then it's like, okay, you know what? I got to build this guy's skill up so then he can be something more. But if he's undersized and has some speed, okay, maybe if I position him just right, he could possibly be effective. But it's in relation, it's relation to the skills, but also their physicality, their physical traits play a big impact as well. And those are the kind of things that we don't have in Madden yet, where it's like it's more of a full-on, he made this physical impact against this defender or vice versa, and this is why that outcome happened, not just because he's this rating. Like, for example, hit stick tackling. Defenders win the hit stick, they win that hit stick battle like pretty much like 95% of the time. They always win. Why can't there be a nullifying effect?
Yes, man.
If
it should not be that instant fumble when you get a hit. It's just
not
ridiculous.
even that. Yeah, and that's true, but not even that. Just why are they always winning? Why can't it be this defender's rating and the situation in which he tried to do the hit stick versus the offensive player's situation, and they tried to go for a stiff arm or a truck?
Can I interject for a second?
You know,
go ahead, man.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Can I jump in? All right, so I get where you coming from with the whole animation, but we do have some of that, Smitty, in the game. Now, it's not in franchise mode, but it's more in mud. Now, because I got a 94 overall Marshawn Lynch. He's got 98 truck power. Every time I'm up against the defender, that dude's getting pummeled every time. It doesn't matter if it's Ray Lewis. It doesn't matter if it's Lawrence Taylor. It doesn't matter. I'm winning that battle 90% of the time. Now, I get where you're coming from with the whole, we need more of that, but we already got a piece of it in the game. It's just ain't across the board, and we need that across the board. So I agree with you, but we do got it in mud. It's just that we have those special cards. You know?
All right.
You know what? He got a point, because in the last tournament, what was it, Problem? One of them, I remember it was like, there goes that truck again. And he was
Leonard Fournette. It was Problem.
Fournette, yeah. There you go.
Now, did he have?
You know what, Nighthawk?
Certain chemistry though.
What you just did though is I can see it coming in the comments. They gonna be like, see, Mutt gets all the love. Oh man.
But
hey, like I explained, guys, I think EA is trying to get y'all, man. I think, look, they just saying, look, man, franchise been around for years. It's out with the old, in with the new, man. Mutt's the new king, man. They already got the leagues. They already got a website for y'all. I mean, basically, they want Sim, Smitty, and Azure just to pack it in, man. Come on over, man. Just come on in, man.
See, the way I look at it is whatever it is that they do in Mutt, I'm looking for them to do that in franchise. You know, I'm like, okay, I see you got the chemistries and I see you got the trait system and I see all that stuff. That's what's up. I like all that. When y'all bring that into Mutt, I'm looking to see that, and then I see it be implemented accordingly. So then it fits, you know, have a system and build that sucker out and implement that stuff, because it all makes sense. You know, it makes sense. Just make it make sense in a franchise mode though, where you can gain and lose, you know, traits, and you could gain and lose, you know, those chemistries and stuff like that, or tier it out. Like you got all the different color cards and types of cards, your gold, silver, bronze. You know, you can have base level, elite, all that stuff. You could do the exact same thing in franchise.
Here's the problem with that.
What up?
Here's my issue with that. Okay, let's say we throw that in franchise. Well, how do you differentiate that from somebody drafting in this when they scouting and drafting? I mean, how would you bring a rookie to already have jump to snap chemistry? I mean, wait a minute. I mean, you have Sim with a jump to snap guy. This guy is only a 78 overall. I mean, wait a minute. So he jumping to snap every time as a rookie? I mean, everybody's not Jadavian Clowney coming out of South Carolina now. Wait a minute. We got an issue here.
But see, that's the thing right there. It's not an issue. That's an obstacle you got to overcome. So what are you going to do? So what does that mean you're going to have to do then? Now you're going to have to start implementing strategy. You can't just say, oh, man, this ain't right. Rex, fix. No, it's going to be, okay, the tools are in the game. Are you going to adjust, or are you just going to complain? See, like there has to be – that's something that has to happen. That's why, like 2 weeks ago, I talked about it on UFC with my man, one of the producers over there, and they basically said when you make a game realistic, there's going to be those issues. There's going to be those people that get upset and everything, but it's like I laid it out for you. I told you we're giving you all the realistic MMA actions that happen, and you just got to get used to it. And that's why you got people reviewing it and marking the game down. You know, I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but you got people that are marking it down because it's too difficult for them. there's a learning curve to it, and they actually don't want to get on that curve. That's the stuff that was happening in past years. I mean, I'm pretty sure you saw that.
Yeah.
Sack fumbling and all that stuff and everything, and dudes complained and said, "Oh, I'm getting stripped too much, and I'm getting fumbled. Why? How come I'm doing it? Because you're throwing the ball as you're getting hit. What do you mean? Why is it happening? You keep on getting hit when you're trying to throw. What do you think happens in the NFL when you do that stuff? These quarterbacks, when they get rocked trying to throw the ball at the same time, they'll end up fumbling. That's why they usually get the ball out. Well, they try to get it out well ahead of time. So, but in Madden, for I don't know how long, I could throw dots all over the field as I get hit. Rarely, sometimes I'll throw it inaccurate, but no, I can just throw dots. No, you got to get away from that. You got to change the game up, and that's part of it right there. Changing the game up, like the example you gave. Oh, man, I got this rookie. He could jump the snap. Now, even to that point, he can jump the snap at a base level. What if it's base, not elite, but he can do that off top? That's the stuff you see in scouting reports. He's great at jumping the snap. This guy's got a knack for the ball. Oh, man, he's great for putting quarterbacks under pressure. If you put him on the edge, oh, man, he's great around that edge. That's the kind of stuff you have. You have rookies come in like that. You have guys that are 5th, 6th round picks that'll mess around and be a specialist. Yeah. You may mess around and look out and say, "Oh snap, this guy's legit." What's my man's name? Agnew, dude. We picked up in the draft at quarterback. We talking about off a draft using this dude as part of our secondary. This guy's an all-pro for being a kick returner for the Lions this year. So this is what I'm saying. Like, this dude was late in the draft pick, and look what he ends up being an all-pro. That's what I'm saying. Like, those kind of things you got to flush out in the mode and everything. But it all starts, though, even with what we want in these modes and everything, the core gameplay still does matter. So it's like they're both on an even keel. It all has to come together. It all has to mesh. So,
yeah, great conversation, man. Go ahead.
I don't want to shut you out, Sim. I just want one other point, though.
Nah,
but guys,
man. Shut me out. Keep talking, brother. I'm good.
So, didn't we try this though, guys? Have we forgotten? We tried this in Madden 08, didn't we? With the whole system, with the bulldozer and the hand icons and the freaking route running weapons. Didn't we try this in franchise mode? And it still got freaking complaints? People didn't like it? Didn't we try this already?
That's the thing. Yeah. That's the key right there. You make a great point, man, and is what we've said all along too. Even, we're like some sim ridiculous folks. Like the stuff that we would enjoy, most people would cut their throats out, man, if it happened to them in the game. So you always gonna have that fight. But it's like Smitty said, man, even with Mike, because I sit back and I see what they do sometimes over there and mess stuff up. I hear guys like I've seen some of the complaints you guys have, like Relly has a lot of stuff, all these band-aids. But I feel like they just gotta stick with it, man. Whatever you produce, go with. I always tell them, and Smitty knows this, I tell them every year, how y'all feel when that game goes gold. That's it. The whole building felt this way. That is it. Go with that. And of course, you fix problems, but don't keep tweaking and turning and adjust. You're never going to make everybody happy. You got to push the boundary and put as much realism in the game as possible, because we'll all enjoy that. Because I'll tell you what, I would be a huge Mutt guy if, and actually, it sounds like they do have more stuff than we have. But just imagine a game where, Deion Sanders is really prime time. Yeah. For real. He moves like Deion. He got certain abilities like Deion. Where other guys just, they just don't have a knack for the ball like he did, or Ed Reed. Not just because of some threshold or, you know what I mean? I would be playing Mutt like crazy if it was realistic to the point of on the field. Now, like you said, man, like the fantasy stuff, I don't have a problem with that. I see some extremists who feel like, oh man, that stuff should never exist. It's still a game, man. People can play the game however they want to play. I have no problem with
football,
that.
Man. Fantasy football.
I love it.
Yeah. We just need that realism, man. And it's cool. What I wanted to say before I even said that is I love the conversation that we're having tonight. Like, it needs to be more of these where we have people who play MUT, people who play CFM, people like yourself who appreciate them both and get that common goal. Because and until that happens, man,
that's it.
You know, the MUT crowd, just to be honest, of course they're gonna get more looks because of course that crowd is very vocal. They're a lot larger as far as to the eye. I mean, we get some love too, but we're gonna have to get on the same accord in terms of football. When we can do that, I think the game would be phenomenal, man, for everybody.
So on to my second point. Now I want to get y'all guys' thoughts. Now I know how I feel about Longshot, but I gotta get y'all thoughts because we gotta have a talk with this Longshot, man. How y'all just gonna have me drafted to my favorite team? I got drafted to the Cardinals, man, and I was excited. I'm like, all right, yes, I'm ready to get in this training camp, try to beat Carson Palmer. I'm ready to go. Then the game ends. I'm like, yo, what happened? I'm like, what happened? Where the next scene at? I'm ready to go. So, yo, when y'all go down there to Orlando, please, man, I don't care about what nobody else saying in this chat. Y'all got to talk for me, man, and say, look, my man Nighthawk said y'all got to do something about this Longshot, man. He ready to take the Cardinals to the Super Bowl. Y'all got to do something, man. Put 10-year season in something. I need something. I need story mode.
Man, I'll say this first, then I'll let Smitty give his thoughts on it, man. It's some stuff I can't say because I don't know if
gotta get okay. I'm about to say.
All right. shoot me. Shoot us the email, Antoine. We'll get you in.
I think he sent it.
He might have sent it
somewhere.
All right, let me go back and take a look, see if I can find it. Let me say this so y'all can kind of know where I'm going with it. I had a talk last year, and I kind of got the plans for Longshot. So I can't really say because I don't know if this stuff is really going to happen. So I'm not going to talk about what was laid out to me. But I knew all along that it was going to end the way it did this year. Because the end goal wasn't everything happens this year. Let's just say that. The second part is, man, myself, let me think of who all was there. Me, Sean Mason, my guy Ronnie, a couple other guys. It wasn't a whole lot of CFM guys at that particular event, but we went crazy. We went off, not off, but y'all know what I'm saying, figure of speech. We went off at Rex, Clint, one of the top dogs there. I was like, yo, this right here, our crowd is going to kill y'all for this. This makes no sense. I was like, at least if you're gonna try to, massage us to sleep, so to speak, at least allow us to, you know what I mean? You just gonna cut it off right there. And let me tell y'all this: at first, there wasn't gonna be any option for those two guys to even be playing as much. I was like, look, I was one of the people who said y'all better at least do that. Because if y'all leave it like it is now, waste of time. But as Rex has told us, those sitting in the office with the suits on, this is a good idea. This is gonna bring everybody in. It ain't work, man. In my opinion, and I've also heard from some others, it didn't necessarily work the way they thought it was gonna work, which we saw clearly. It seems like some of the devs saw that clearly, but these guys who feel like, they got these degrees in marketing, they thought this was gonna work. So trust me, brother, when I tell you, man, I was ready to kick the door down and be like, so you're going to give me this cinematic thing? Because let me tell you how my mind works. I'm looking at this thing when they're showing it to us, and I'm like, wow, it's amazing. That took a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of CFM time that we could have had. And at the end of it, you just leave it bland like that? Ridiculous. And I hope, this is what I'm praying for. I'm going to be a little cynical, man. I hope that what they were planning to do doesn't happen because Longshot didn't do that well. I hope this is the case. I don't know this to be true, but I'm hoping it didn't do well enough for them to feel like they should continue it. But then I'm going to tell y'all exactly what the plan was. I'm going to tell y'all, mark my words. If when I see Madden 19 and I know exactly what Longshot is doing, and I find out that the plans have changed, I will tell y'all exactly what the thought process was, and y'all gonna go crazy. I'm gonna tell you, y'all gonna lose your mind when you find out. But man, that's all I say on this. We lucky to even be able to play with them dudes or as a creative player, because the creative player thing definitely wasn't happening until some of us franchise guys said, "Well, look, man, come on." At least let me fake it till I make it, because y'all remember I was doing a little series on it at first, and then I got tired of it and I cut it off. But I was like, at least let me act like, I got drafted and went to this team and I took somebody's job. So there you go, man. Waste of time in my opinion. But go ahead, Smitty. Don't let me keep going.
No, I really don't have much to add on to it. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, honestly, I honestly wish that it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Or at least seeing that it took away some things. I rather would have had them wait to do Longshot, especially when it's a year you're transitioning over to an engine. You're doing an engine transition, and that's very hard to do. That's a very tasking thing to do. And plus, when your game is, once again, like we always make this point, your game is coming back from behind. You're trying to build up your game from behind. If you're playing from behind and you're trying to build your game up, you can't, let's put this story mode in there. Ultimately, people care about gameplay over Longshot. You heard people give their thoughts on Longshot back in August and a little bit in September. People are talking about gameplay, good and bad stuff. They're not talking about Longshot, good and bad stuff. Like that's a big deal. Yes, people play it though. People did play it, of course, but and the thing is, there's elements that were in that Longshot that we've talked about it before back then. We're like, yo, some of these things you got in here, this needs to be in the main game.
7-on-7.
Yeah,
A lot of drills you can get out of that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
A lot of practice.
Yeah. And animations that were in that joint as well. So it's like, yo, you could do practice and without the full contact and all that stuff. You putting it in it goes back to the Nighthawks point. There's stuff in MUT and how it responds in there that doesn't respond the same way in the sim setting. And it's the same thing with Longshot. There's things in Longshot that aren't in either one of those two modes. So it's like everything needs to be tied in together. And see, to the point that he made before about the MUT point, I just want to say this real quick. You got Marshawn, like he said, he had Marshawn or Leonard Fournette. Now he has certain, chemistries, abilities, whatever label you want to give it, but he has certain abilities that allow him to win a lot more of these battles and everything, right? Which is cool. But at the same time, this is where the dynamic element comes in. We talk about the dynamic stuff in FIFA. That's the thing about it. In Madden, it's either one or the other. But it's not always one or the other in football. Sometimes there's a stalemate of some sort. Sometimes there's a slight edge, a slight win, slight loss, balance in the middle, depending upon where you got hit. There needs to be universal contact points. In terms of when people hit you, they hit you here, they hit you in the chest, they hit you there, hit you there. That all needs to matter. It does a great job of mattering a lot in FIFA. Needs to be done in Madden. And that's the point that I'm getting at. as far as that's concerned, because that's what makes the gameplay feel a lot more dynamic across the board. So that's what I'm getting at, you know, in that regard, though. So, but that's all I got, man. I'll throw it back to you, bro.
Yeah, let me answer something real quick here in the chat, and then Nighthawk, we're gonna kind of transition here, rolling into the second hour. Kind of talk about the main topics in the title. So I'm gonna come at you and ask you, do you feel Madden 19 is a make or break year? And then me and Smitty can give our thoughts, and then as well, what do you think would be your top 5 Madden 19 CFM needs that will say restore your confidence or faith in the fact that they will improve franchise? And where I'm coming from with that too, because I see CDJ in here, shouts out to him. He's saying more traits and things like that. I'm not going to go down that road yet because that's more gameplay. Because even like the video I'm going to post here in a minute where I did my top 5, the gameplay definitely will have to dictate what they do. So kind of focus more on the off-field type of stuff, that the immersion factor, like the traits and all that, definitely. We all want that. We want badges like 2K or the weapons, some type of expansion on that or expansion on the traits. So not so much gameplay. We're just talking about like the depth of CFM. So real quick, man, I wanted to say to Mabuta, hope I'm saying that right. He said, why is it that we lost so many features from earlier Maddens? Does it have something to do with the new engines? Absolutely does. Basically, Madden 06 happened. Whoever in that building decided to strip the whole system down instead of porting over, and they tried to recreate Madden from scratch, and we got Madden 06. Madden 07 was a little better. Madden 08 started to turn the corner a little bit. Then the creative guy at that time, David Ortiz, no longer there. Ian Cumming takes over. We know that era. Ian Cumming gets out of there. Then you got Philly Frazier. And we know what happened with that era. Then all of a sudden, now it gets handed to other guys. And finally, we get Rex and them, who's been there for a good, decent amount of years as far as riding the ship. Madden, which one was it, Smitty? 16, I think he said, was the one that fully started allowing them to start going into their plan. So that's really what happened, man, is system, along with Smitty's favorite thing that he says that's absolutely true, consistent development, from the same vision. That didn't happen. So that's really what it was, because on the PS2 days, we had all of that. And then as soon as it went to Xbox 360, which I was one of the fools who fell for the trailer and bought the 360, thinking I'm going to see this phenomenal game with Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid and, your boy Strahan snarling. And, oh, man, I was sold, boy. Because, at that time, I ain't know nothing about CG. I ain't know nothing about all of that CG trailer. I'm thinking, oh, this is it. And we saw how bare bones it was. So that's what happened. That's what happened. But yeah, man, Nighthawk, man, what you got, man, on those 2 topics? And Antoine, I sent you the invite, man. If you didn't get it, I'll send it to you again.
Okay, so my top 5 on Madden 19 has to be number 5. We got to get off the field issues in the game. That has to be in the game. Period. I want Smitty to have problems galore. I want his phone buzzing on that Madden 19 app. I want that ESPN ding. Smitty know his player that got in trouble with a bar, and now Smitty got to make a decision where he gonna sit this player. He gonna sit him for a half. He gonna sit him for the game. Whatever. He plays NYK in his division. This for the freaking last wild card spot. Smitty got to make this coaching decision. I got to see that in the game. Number 4, can we get realistic training camps, man? So I can have training camp battles. I want to know, since I'm a Cardinals fan, we don't have a quarterback. Carson Palmer retired. I need to know who my quarterback is. I need to know who I'm going to start week 1 of the regular season. I need to know what's going on. All right? We got to have realistic battles at every position, man, in the game. Number 3, let's see. Can we put the scouting combine, a realistic scouting combine, over in franchise, please? And also, can we have realistic scouting? Can I send my scout to Alabama to check out I don't know what's one of the great players for Alabama right now? Anybody know?
Rashaan Evans.
Rashad Evans, yeah. Can I send a scout down to check out Rashad Evans, see if I want to put him on my draft board? Can we have this?
Future Pittsburgh Steeler. I'm just putting it out there. I doubt if he makes it to that far, but I can hope.
Yeah, true. I mean, we got scouting in FIFA. They have it in NHL where you can see your player all over the world. I mean, I had FIFA 18 for Xbox One, so I know this scouting's in there. I mean, we got it on FIFA. We got it in NHL. Come on, EA, y'all as a whole got to put your hands together, man. Y'all got to, make it all sequence together. I don't know why Madden kind of carry itself like it's the only problem child. I don't get it. Mm-hmm. Number two, coaching has to matter, man. I'm not just talking about head coaches. Assistants have to matter, man. These systems have got to matter, bro. When you running an offense and a defense, that stuff has to matter, bro. Because you can't tell me every quarterback can run a West Coast offense, but you can in Madden. That don't make sense. Every quarterback that comes out of the draft or you pick up free agency cannot run that offense. We got to have some busts, man, in Madden. We got to have some guys that, okay, Sim takes a chance on a quarterback, Ben retires. He takes a chance on this quarterback, run his system, he flames out. 4 seasons, Sim already got rid of this quarterback. Or Sim gets fired. He gets fired. Now he on the free agent block looking for another team to pick him up. we got to have this. I understand a lot of you don't want to put firing in the game. I get it because the system's kind of broken. I played with it one time in the league, and yeah, you can get fired the first year if you struggle. But what I'm saying is we got to have a coaching carousel. I want to see all that stuff, man. If we got to take franchise to the next level. All right, it's 2019, man. It's time. All right. I want to see breaking news. I want to see NY Kia. He in talks with AJ McCarron. This is a rumor, but it's flashing all over Sim and Smitty's screen. I want to see that. I want to know what's going on with my opponents, who they talking to, who they scouting. I want to know all of it. And number one of all things, guys, we have got to have the combine. It's got to come. It's got to come. You had it in Longshot 18. You can port it over to Madden 19 in franchise mode. So us as coaches, virtual coaches, when we create ourselves, if they bring the face cam over for NBA Live, I'm saying you already got the MUT players in MUT as coaches. So why can't we have a face cam for franchise mode so we create our faces and body lengths and stuff in the game? You know what I'm saying? So we can be on the sideline. Why can't we virtually go to the combine and watch our players practice? Why can't we scout them like real life? I mean, I understand you have to make a kind of a movie script type scene in there because I can't imagine Sim pressing some buttons, walking and stuff, trying to talk to these virtual players and stuff. I mean, you can have it. I mean, MLB The Show hasn't enrolled to the show. It's a way to do it, and it's going to take time, like Smitty always says. I'm going to quote you, Smitty, but it is what it is. But that's my top 5, guys. What you guys got?
Man, well, first, before I go, man, we gotta introduce. I don't even know what to call him, man. I mean, Antoine, the infamous Antoine, man. This guy. Let me just tell y'all, for those that don't know, not only is he, I'm one of these people that I don't like to. How can I phrase it so y'all get it? I don't like to big up people for what they do for you, so to speak, because if that's all you rely on, then it's almost like you'll throw them out the window as soon as they don't do nothing for you. But I give him credit for just being around. Almost every chat I do, he's there. Way before donations, he's been there. So I just want to give you love for that, man. Just being a supporter. And then as far as like the monetary stuff, man, I can't thank you enough. Outstanding. Strongly appreciated. Smitty will definitely get his portion. I'm a man of my word. So we want to welcome you to the show first and foremost, man. And anything you want to say before we continue, if you want to speak on these topics, please feel free to do that, man. But welcome to the show, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I just want to hop on the CFM, man. Everybody talking about CFM, but gameplay not right yet. So CFM gonna be garbage, regardless if we get all these features in CFM. You know what I'm saying? So that's a waste of time. If we had gameplay right, nobody be complaining about CFM as much right now.
Man, like mines, man. This is what Smitty and I say all the time. It's one of those things. It's like this. Like, you guys hear me when I talk about NBA 2K. That game has problems, but because it has the other stuff around it, you're able to stomach it more. But more importantly, man, like Antoine just said, gameplay has to be paramount. That's the key. Because all of this stuff that I'm asking for in the video I recently did, and I'll probably put it up here in a few minutes, what my man Nighthawk is talking about, Smitty, everybody, Azul, all of us, NYK, everybody who's ever talked about CFM. If the gameplay does not support that,
yeah,
what's the point?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So I'm saying that's why some cats get mad when they like, man, but we talking so much gameplay, but we need this franchise though. And I'm like, nah, you don't understand. The gameplay is behind the curve. That's why we need that gameplay up first, or more importantly than franchise stuff, because of that. And part of the problem, this goes back to what Nighthawk was saying at the beginning. And we've said it many times before. The community is part of the issue in that regard, because they complain and say, yo, Rex, man, we can't handle this, or oh, I don't like it. So because there's a challenge, there's a wall there. It's like, no, I don't want to tolerate that wall. I want to be able to run straight through just like everybody else can, or how I used to be able to do it. And it has to be, that challenge has to be there. But even with that, or whatever flaws or whatever issues they have, you still got to keep innovating. That's just like the whole stuff with the chemistry stuff. Like, you hear some tourney guys complain about and get mad at, oh, they're band-aiding and all that stuff. But at the same time, like I brought up a few weeks ago, NBA 2K13 was when they introduced those signature skills, or, badges and all that stuff or whatever. You couldn't block dunks, yet you had ability to chase down artists and eraser in there. So it's like you couldn't block dunks, yet they put it in, and then they brought out 2K14, and you saw LeBron chase down blocking dunks and stuff like that in the trailer. So it's like they recoup for it. That's what you have to do with Madden. And see, that's even the stuff you see with these other games, MLB The Show, FIFA, NHL, and all that. They'll have their problems, and people will complain about NHL 15. NHL 15 got nailed to the wall next gen, and they tried to patch in, the online stuff that people liked, and they had to basically wait. They had to wait till the next year. They tried to patch it, but they couldn't do it. My daughter up here talking, but that's the point right there, is that they gotta innovate through it all. They can't just not do it. Yes, sweetheart. Here, go ahead. Daughter up here calling me.
Man, if I'll ask Antoine, man, if the gameplay, let's say the gameplay matches in 19, what are some things, man, that would make you feel like, even if it's not 5, what are some must-have things you would want to see in Madden 19 that at least would make you feel like, oh, okay, so y'all are going to take care of franchise? This is what Rex said. He was very adamant by saying it in my interview, and he continues to say it. We're franchise guys. We haven't forgot about y'all. It's all about, convincing people, blah, blah, blah. So in your opinion, man, what would make you feel like in Madden 19, as long as the gameplay supports it, that you would say, okay, I needed to see that to restore my faith?
I mean, CFM, it's not real. It's not a huge problem to me, man. Gameplay is the biggest problem for me right now, man. Like, you can't, like Luke Kuechly, you can't tell if he's an elite linebacker in this game compared to the next guy. I mean, it's horrible, man. It's offense. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Chaz Green sucks. He plays the same as Tyron Smith in Madden. I mean, it's ridiculous. Animation is killing the game. I don't know, man.
Nah, I love it, man. Because listen, this is exactly everybody knows, man. This is how I've been. I always say that, oh, it don't matter. But it's almost like I'm getting to the point where apparently we just gonna have to deal with some issues. But I feel you, man. It's almost like the gameplay trumps everything we talking about tonight. Period. Because even if they put all this stuff in, I mean, even if they put your man Deuce Douglas, that post he did.
My twin brother here, man. You know what I'm saying? My brother Anthony.
All right, what's up, man? What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Nothing much, chilling, man. But yeah, I'm with you on that one, man. So I'll come back to Smitty real quick and see what he got. What are your things, Smitty, man? Like I pretty much probably already know. We've probably discussed them, but what you need to see to make us feel like there's some type of confidence that franchise would get built out.
Man.
I mean, shoot. I mean, Deuce Douglas's blog would basically suffice for a good amount of things that they do if they're able to do it this year. You know, some things. I know they can't get it all, but I mean, like on a base level, adding those abilities, like I said, taking the stuff from Mutt, adding those abilities and everything, just bringing that up, like to not overcomplicate it. Take from what you already have done on one side and just bring that to the other side in the franchise side and just build it out. Tailor it for that mode. Just tailor that. Scouting, things like that. Bore out the scouting, you know? And like you said, taking from Longshot, taking, you know, like you saw the two-hand touch stuff, those are your contact drills right there. 7-on-7 action right there. You know, you get your practice in and everything. You drafted that new quarterback. He needs to get hit to the playbook and things like that. Like take some of those head coach elements. I mean, that may be going a little bit far, but still, there needs to be a refreshing element from what you have. So like I said, not trying to overcomplicate things with like complex stuff, but just tuning and tweaking stuff. And even from what Deuce put out earlier today, he put out an article basically talking about the ratings and how when it comes to drafting, you can just surefire pick players because it's a very predictable system. It would be better to have ranges and have grades and have ranges that players could fit in. They could be between B and C. You know, you could have a B with a question mark, but their rating can still be between that criteria. As you find out, you know, more and more, like when you scout, how much, depending upon how much you scout them, like what we had in NCAA. The heavier you scouted, you can, you know, you would get some point, you would unlock some letter grades, and then you can actually get some actuals out of them. That would be cool to see something along that line in Madden. But then, you know, like what Nighthawk is saying, doing drills. Seeing their combine scores, seeing them do these different drills, like I'm going to assign my scouts. Now, this is going into College Hoops 2K8 territory, but assign the scouts to, you know, I'm going to have them like how you could do, I'm going to do the home visit. I'm going to watch film. I'm going to email them. I'm going to watch their games. You know, I'm going to attend these particular games. Oh, so-and-so's in an all-star game? Bet. I'm going to go check that out. That's like saying, you know, they have the combine, then they have the pro day, then they have their own scheduled pro day at their college campus. Do you want your scouts to be there? Yes or no? They're playing in the Senior Bowl. Do you want to see what they do? Yes or no? Like stuff like that. I invited them to a visit to see the facility, you know, stuff that, you know what I mean? Like whatever actions it is that you can do, have those kind of actions in the game and see them. Or control them yourself so you can get a feel for how they are. They did it in college hoops. That's the kind of stuff you should be able to do with certain prospects. You can't do that with everybody, but you could do it with certain guys that you're really banking on. That's the kind of stuff we need. See, doing that kind of stuff in the game, you're taking from what you already got and you're just adding a layer to it. And then off of that alone, you just open a whole nother paradigm. Just doing that. And then that's when you go ahead and you say, all right, now we got the gameplay. you know, we're able to focus on the gameplay. We expanded some things with franchise mode, made it more hands-on immersive, you know, added some layers to it. Now let's make the gameplay even tighter. Then you can really go into let's blow out franchise mode. But this is one thing I want to say, because I was talking to Sim about this, and this is something that the MLB The Show devs do that I haven't heard Rex or any of the guys do when it comes to interviews and discussions before the game comes out. I never hear them say anything along the lines of, this is what we're doing this year, or this is what we're able to do this year, but we got more for you guys next year. You know what I mean? Like,
not publicly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, yeah, publicly. I'm saying publicly.
They don't tell y'all. Then they stick us with sitting here being like,
yeah.
I tell them, I don't know if it's. Oh God, I'm telling you, but wait till I tell y'all about the long shot if it happens. Oh boy,
but there needs to be things where they can tell you, like, as far as, you know, franchise or as far as gameplay, we got this mechanic and we were able to do this year, but we have plans to do a lot more with this particular aspect of the game next year. We have a multi-year plan or in place. Like we have something progressive in place for this. Doing that answers a lot of questions. If you could do that stuff for CFM, like, for example, this year in particular, we didn't get to do much this year with CFM, but we have multi-year. We do have a multi-year plan as far as what we're going to roll out. We are enhancing CFM. So just letting you guys know, we weren't able to do much with it this year, but due to the Frostbite transition, but we will be doing a lot more. Like, those are the kind of things that I hear from the MLB The Show devs, and it's like, see, that kind of, you know, when you put that kind of message out there, you're already putting that forecast of, yo, we have more stuff coming, you know, to your table. It's just not here yet. But this is not something that's being ignored, though, either, which is what the sentiment is right now, is that, oh, it's just about mud. They don't care about franchise mode, even though Rex says something on Twitter, which Rex is a pretty straight shooter. But at the same time, you know, people want to see the proof positive in the product. When you put it out there publicly and you're able to say, you're not telling people what you're doing, but you're letting people know what's forthcoming. That's a big deal when you're able to do it, you do stuff like that. So that's what I would like to see Rex be able to do, that. And, you know, at an EA Play or at an E3, and do those kind of interviews and put it out there, because that's where a lot of people are paying attention. And when they see that kind of stuff, that can carry you, you know, that'll sustain you for a bit.
Can I piggyback off that point?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, one thing MLB The Show does too, Smitty, that you forgot to mention, they also do Twitch streams, and they have a schedule what stuff they're going to talk about in their next game.
Madden
so also, you showing us, like, okay, hey, we're going to talk about Road to Show on this day. Join us on Twitch. We're going to go over what we did this year, blah, blah, blah. And you join us on this day. We're going to talk about franchise mode, what we did here, boom, boom, boom. Same thing with the player movement, stuff like that. That's what I think Madden should do, is use Twitch to their advantage, show us some things on pick a month, whatever, before August, like I say July, you know what I'm saying? And show us, like, okay, here's the player movement. This is what we did from 18 to 19, just like they did with NCAA. I think you guys remember that trailer where they transitioned from 09 to 10, and they had them side by side, and they were showing the player movement and stuff. Yeah, that's what you need to do. So then we, as a community, understand, okay, now y'all taking us seriously. Y'all taking our comments and y'all doing what y'all need to do. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, man, let me say something real quick. We probably got about 35 minutes or so left. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to say a whole lot more, because we got a lot of participation tonight. Deron Smith just came on. I want to definitely give him his opportunity, give Antoine all the opportunity, as well as Nighthawk and Smitty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say a couple quick things, and then the rest of it is just going to be me throwing it to you guys. Shameless plug real quick, guys, because I'm just not going to waste y'all time giving you my top 5, being a video will be coming here soon, but I'll just give you the topic. And then, if you check out the video, you'll hear me expand, but no particular order. Wear and tear. Got to have that. Progressive fatigue, wear and tear on the body health. Number 2, roster management. That covers a host of things. Coaching staff. Nighthawk mentioned, one of y'all mentioned that already. Number 4 would be robust scouting. And number 5 would be player development. And that's going to cover a lot of things. So like I said, shameless plug. You watch the video, I'll go more into detail. And last little thing I'll say real quick for you Steelers fans, if you believe in Jerry Dulac, one of the beat writers, he says we're likely to cut Mike Mitchell. I might be waving my pom-poms a little bit on that, guys, but just wanted to throw that out there because I know it's some Steelers people in the crowd. But all right, man, Duran, man, come on in. And the rest of you guys, man, if y'all want to say something like next, if you could do me a favor, just type it in the chat so I know the order to bring you guys in, and we'll rock out for a little while longer.
Well, man, great minds think alike, because I exactly was about to say the wear and tear. Playing the NBA Live, the 2Ks, it's stuff that I've been. I gotta say, I've been acting like you and Smitty. I haven't been playing Madden. I've been playing Madden. I've been playing 2K. I've been playing all this other, even UFC. My goodness, UFC 3. What they did with that? How different gyms now off season. If I'm only one with a head nod, something, please tell me, y'all. Would y'all love to see off season things? The mini camp.
Yes.
The whole 9 yards. And I mean, like, I was just playing on here on Madden. I had drafted me some nice wide receivers, but I still have Martavius Bryant and Juju Smith-Schuster, but they wasn't getting no time. I wanted to be like how, I can't remember what year it was, but NBA 2K had it to where the players was going to the coaches, hey, I'm not happy with my playing time. Make it in real life to where we have to sit down. And I believe this was about a month or two ago. Sim, you had said, make it to where it's like a snap count. Like, all right, like how NBA has minutes. Let's have a snap count to where all of where your players, if they ain't getting right enough playing time, they're not happy. Make players, because I remember, oh my goodness, I want to say it was 9. I had Heinz Ward hold out on me because I franchise tagged him. I had Roethlisberger talking to threatening to leave because I ain't give him an extra $1 million. I want it to be to where you sweating bullets like, man, okay, I have to sign this dude, and make it to where, all right, like some of the veterans. I think this was a man a couple years ago when a veteran retired. Everybody's confidence and stuff went down. Everybody was bummed because this veteran got released or this veteran retired. Make it to where, another thing, team chemistry. Like, say, let's bring the Browns up, okay? Everybody remember that year that they went 10-6. That team was technically garbage, but it was no more eyes in that team. They played as a squad and won 10 games. And if you look on Madden, they was a 72 or 74 overall, and they won 10 games. Just because of chemistry. I got your back, you got mine. I'll make it to where weightlifting, like you said, with the wear and tear, the weightlifting. James Harrison.
Yes.
Just his workouts. Make it to where, and bring back. I loved having to go through, like you said, with the coaches. Make it to where you can promote your staff members. You got certain, and make it to where players, even, yes, you're gonna have to probably pay them a little something for it, but make it where players can come back. One person who I can see truly coming back as a offensive coordinator or a quarterback coach, Mr. Peyton Manning. He may not had it as in playing anymore, but his last year, everybody can admit, he still had the smarts. He knew where the ball was going, but he couldn't react fast enough. Make it to where, like in UFC, you can go and train with legends and get certain perks. You get certain, skill boosters. Like I want my quarterback. Man, my quarterback's arms. He don't got that deep throw. You know what? I'm gonna have him go train with Brett Favre, one of the strongest arms in the game. Man, my quarterback's catching in traffic suck. Well, I'm gonna have him go and train with To. My quarterbacks, my wide receivers route running sucks. Train with Hines Ward. Make it to where it's training in there to where players make it to where players have a choice. If they want, they can become that cocky. I know everybody remember when they have started making players, with that conceitedness, and they started really reading the play. Back when they really had the position battles where smart quarterback, if you run the play too much, it showed up on your screen. Oh my goodness, I remember playing that online, playing against Peyton Manning. I had this play. Pull Troy up, have him blitz with James Harrison. I ran it too many times, and you seen exactly what they was gonna do, and you had to switch it. That right there, in my opinion, no, all quarterbacks, yes, it's gonna take them a while. Make it to where the awareness is that, to where, okay, hold up, I've seen this play before. I'm gonna take my chance. I'm gonna jump this route. I know what he's gonna do. I'm gonna ignore the wide receiver. I'm playing the quarterback. Press coverage ain't like it used to. I remember there was a time, it might have been '09, when press coverage having Revis Island, you couldn't get off him. Revis had that push where he held your player for 5 seconds. That's all it needs. If I have and this is what I hate, and I actually tested it out and I uploaded it onto my Xbox because it drove me insane. I lowered down my release off of my release to, I think it was 62, and I put the press coverage up to a 96. My player still got beat. How? How? That's what I'm saying. I need some realistic. If you understand, the whole, we needed more dynamics, for easier for people. No, make it out to where you can play and you want it. I done started a season over 12 times playing Madden because it got so up to the point where I could sim my whole season, and I'm going 16-0. I shouldn't be able to do that. I had a squad. My quarterback was a 99. Le'Veon Bell was a 99. Antonio Brown was a 96. My top four wide receivers was in the 90s, and the other ones was in the 80s. I shouldn't be able, that shouldn't be able to, because once it gets up to that, then now I'm like, okay, this is starting to get boring, and then I start all over, and that's what it's getting. It's so crazy because no one wants to have to keep starting over. You want to go 10 years into your franchise, the best one I want to say either it was 9 or 10, in my opinion. Like I said, I understand, I don't want to bring the whole position battles completely back, but I want that. I want a Juju Smith-Schuster. Y'all seen how he was at the beginning of the year. This dude at the end of the season, he was the number 2 receiver. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Need
But
all of that, man.
That it ain't showing. Like I said, if we can bring that back to where during the preseason, during the off season, we have those position battles, and it was legitly at the end of the preseason. It stated who won the position battle. I miss all that. I mean, and realistically, James Harrison should have started over. If you go just by overall, should start over J.J. Watt. If you go by that, there should have been a position battle in Madden for that. There should have been a position battle, even though their overalls aren't exactly the same between Joe Hayden and Artie Burns. I look at all the aspects from me now that thanks to y'all too, and also I'm creating my own games. Y'all made me really start not just try and look at the bigger picture, but go and zoom into the details. Thanks to y'all, I literally had to start my game all over because y'all made me look at some stuff and feel out like, okay, if these cats play it, what would Sim say? What would Smitty say? I don't like how this dude looked like he's on a skateboard in the air. I gotta go and fix that. I want it realistic. I want it to where you have to be good. But if I have a juke at a 97 and your tackling is at an 80, I should be breaking your ankles every single time. I should be able, but here's the thing: I should be able to get out of that.
Not necessarily, though.
See, not necessarily.
That's the problem. See, that's the problem with trying to. That's where the sim conversation always goes in different directions with most people. There's no right answer. But let's be honest. A bum can make a tackle every now and then. So how do they differentiate in the game? How do they replicate it to where we all believe it? Because I wouldn't want it to work every time either.
I mean, not like every time, but like, all right, say Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Let's, or when it's third down and it's a critical third down, those cats dig deep. I shouldn't have the the fifth string cornerback able to cover Antonio Brown like there's no tomorrow. Like this dude is a 97 overall. When critical downs, Antonio Brown should become Superman. And
it depends. I'll give you a perfect example. As a Steelers fan, perfect example. And I think it was the Kansas City game. It was a third down. I remember it vividly because a lot of Steelers fans was ready to kill him for it. Instead of Le'Veon Bell putting his head down, he tries to do his juke. He gets tackled. It's 4th and 1. It happens.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like
I see.
It happens sometimes. But I get what you're saying, but I think that threshold is of us believing it and us accepting it is a tricky thing because people still like to play video games. I always say that. Most people, and I'm not talking about you guys, I'm just saying in general, when I have conversations with people, they're usually upset when something doesn't work. And I'm like, well, we're being real here. Like, look at the NFL this year. How many offensive lines that were supposed to be bad showed up on a Sunday?
Right.
It happened to the Steelers a lot.
I was about to say, if you look at Madden's ratings of the Steelers offensive line, we should be garbage. I mean, look, I'm still jacked up over it. I personally go in and fix his ratings. Knicks, how the heck is he a 53 run blocking? Like, come on now.
Now,
I ain't saying that he should be the best.
Where I will give you, where I definitely will side with you, and then I want to ask you guys a question too, so I'll transition into that. I will side with you in this regard. I've used this example before. Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. It won't nothing that Michael Orr could do with Von Miller. He couldn't do nothing. Now, we do need to see that play out in the game also. So I definitely get what you're saying, but they got to find a way to find that delicate balance of doing it. But to ask you guys a question, man, because I want to make sure I get this in before the show ends. I'll throw it to Nighthawk first, and then we'll go down the list. So a lot of people are thinking that Madden CFM can only improve if it's monetized. I don't believe that. I saw a comment here where somebody said that they're hearing that maybe the suits want that. I don't know the answer to that. But let me ask y'all this. If that happens, what do you think the model would be? Me personally, I think it would be like MUT. There would be some things you could pay for if you wanted to, but I don't think I think people are getting it misconstrued. I don't think it's going to be a thing where money is dominating CFM. I think it would be just like MUT. Maybe there's little packages you can pay for or something like that. But if that were to come, Nighthawk, what do you think the model would be, and how would you feel about something like that?
If it were to happen, here's how I feel about it. If it were to happen, it would be just like MUT. So basically, see, I'm going to give you guys a secret. I don't buy packs in MUT. I don't.
Me neither.
I buy coins. I spend money on coins, and I go buy my player from auction. That's how I roll. I roll like that for 3 years. I taught the pro players. I've asked them, how do you get this player? How do you get this top 90-something player? Because I always used to wonder, well, damn, how you got a 95 player and that player costs 750,000 coins? How did you getting all this stuff? Are you beating all the solos in one try, or what's going on here? And they was like, no. Basically, what you want to do is buy your coins. It's $10 for 100,000, I found out. So I'll just drop 100 or 200, get 2 million coins, buy my team, make my ultimate Cardinal team, and roll online. And let's see what we can do. But back to franchise, if it was to do something like that, I could see them maybe throwing 100 points for scouting combine. You can add it in to your franchise. 250 points for I don't know, coaching carousel or something. You know what I'm saying? Throw that in your franchise. You can add that in. You know what I'm saying? They would do a point system like that where you throw money, something like that. Because I don't think you can add the coin system, because I don't know where you would get coins in franchise. So I think you would have to do a point system, like they have in MUT, where you could use coins, or you can use the point system where you do microtransactions. But I just don't see that happening in a franchise, because I don't think the franchise crowd would go for it. Y'all would be more in the lines of the Star Wars crowd, just lose y'all minds, basically. And I think that I had to take it out day one. I can see Smitty now having 50 tweets on Twitter now about this in franchise. Well, I can see you, Sim, making 10 videos on YouTube about it. And I would just have to comment on everywhere, because I know you about to go ham on it. I know Azure about to go ham on Twitter. It'll be a mess.
You already know. Antoine, man, are you a franchise guy? I mean, I know gameplay is number one, just like me, but is that your mode of choice? And if so, what do you think about that possibility?
I play franchise, but I never go through the season because I get bored, man. The gameplay is not where it needs to be. And MUT, I never mess with it.
That's my dude. That's my dude right there. I love it, man.
I love it, man.
That's my man's right there.
Man, the game needs more weight and leverage, man. It needs to show weight and leverage. I want to see the pocket collapse.
My man.
The O-line collapse.
Yes. Yes.
I want to see a guy get skinny and get through the line without a warping blocking.
Well, it does happen in MUT. It does happen in MUT, Antoine. So if you want to see that, you come on over to our side. You'll see a lot. You'll see a lot of that pocket collapsing. Trust me. You're gonna need you a scrambling quarterback. Believe me.
I ain't gonna lie, man.
Overthrows.
You'll see a lot of that too.
You look at the tournaments. I'm gonna be honest for just a quick second. I mean, of course, we all know there's some cheese stuff that you see, but I ain't gonna lie, man. When you take the blinders off, you do see more of that type of stuff because of those traits or whatever, more so than you see it in CFM. And it's like, come on, man. But
treats.
What you think, Deron, man? How you think that model will look, and what do you think about it?
Well, I remember a couple years back because I actually paid for it myself. When you can buy like certain perks, like he said for the scouting combine, where like I did for me, where any wide receiver I scouted, because I bought the perk for it, I got their full scouting report with already because of I paid for the $5 advanced scouting where I got the perks. If they want to make it to where they want CFM to make money, do it like that. Do it through the scouting and making it to where it's more in depth, where you can check and see like, okay, I want to check this cat's development. What did he do from his freshman year to his junior year or to his senior year? Okay, well I see this cat had died. Make it to where you have to focus in on that. Because it's not like you can, all right, well, if you buy, say you spend $5, by taking that $5, you will get everybody's speed. Cool. Where that $5, now I paid that $5 and I get everybody's speed. Okay. Or make it to where, like, say the overalls, because a lot of people just want to look, okay, what's the overall? What's the overall? You got to spend $15 and you unlock everybody's overall. But just because you unlock their overall, you don't know what the other stats are in it. Just like how this Madden. We had cats who overall was 72, but they got run blocking and pass blocking at 82s and 85s. And the reason why they're at 72 is because their impact blocking is a 75, or the strength is a 79. So you can't go just by overalls. And another thing I want to ask y'all to see if y'all like this, because I've been wanting this in there. A overall rating for pump fakes. Because think about it, Roethlisberger, Green Bay's quarterback. I keep forgetting his name.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why I wanted to call him Aaron Reed, but Aaron Rodgers. Those two, their pump fakes will kill you. They halt players. If they put that to where they get overalls for pump fakes, to where, say, with Roethlisberger's pump fake, say it's a 90. Let's say 9 out of 10 pump fakes, he's gonna stutter step a player whose awareness is lower than 90. He's gonna get them to, even if it's not a full like jump on, he's just like, that quick jerk that you get. I mean, what do y'all think about it?
That could work so many ways, man, because see, that makes me look at using somebody that we all know on the Steelers, Artie Burns, peaks in the backfield. So now you can spread it out. A guy like that will be more susceptible to looking at the quarterback more, and then he jumps on it. That could be crazy. I mean, I don't know personally if they need an overall for it. I think all they would need to do is just make the rating work and have it connected to awareness or something like that.
I got something to say to that.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, guys, wasn't pump fake a big thing back in the old Maddens where you could press that button? I think it was the left bumper or something. You would press it and they would pump fake and the defender would jump all of a sudden, and then you would have a window to throw it. I think it was back in 07. Maybe it was Madden 07, possibly.
Yeah.
07 or 08, one of them.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 07, 08, where the pump fake was a little overpowered in my opinion. I don't know what Sim, Smitty, and you guys, Antoine and stuff, You guys think about that? But I thought back then it was a little too overpowered because I used to use it all the time with Peyton Manning or Drew Brees and tear people to shreds online. I mean, rip them to shreds.
Well, man, I have a last quick question for you three, man, and then I'll come back, to Smitty, and we'll wrap the show after that as far as, getting his thoughts. But I want to ask you guys this question as we wind down. And I'll start with Antoine, then Deron, and then Nighthawk. Antoine, man, is Madden 19 a make or break game for whatever reason, whether it's gameplay for you or CFM or whatever? Is that the game, in your opinion, that's like make or break for you, or you'll just move on and wait whenever they get it correct?
Gameplay for me, man. They gotta get right before anything.
I love it.
There it is, man. There it is.
That's kind of where I'm at with it, man. 19. Well, Deron, man, what's your answer? Is it a make or break?
Dude, if Madden 19 is a bum, I'm going to keep my EA access. I'll get that 10-hour free thing and just wait till February to get it for free. I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm not gonna pay for it if they're gonna keep it the way it is. I literally went back and said I started playing Madden 25 just so I could get a little bit more competition. That's how bad to me it's getting. Now I'm going back to old games.
Nighthawk, what you think, man?
Madden 19, make or break? Smitty, all you guys gonna be shot, but my answer is no. It's not a make or break. Not for me, because I play MUT. I play franchise too, but I play MUT, so it ain't a make or break for me. I mean, hey, I'm waiting for them to throwback Carson Palmer on 19. He just retired from the Cardinals. Is he gonna have that identified chemistry? Hey, I can use that. Are we gonna have the Aaron Don with the jump Kim or the Jadeveon Clowney? You know what I'm saying? With the unused, I think it's unbreakable tackle or something chemistry they have. They got all that stuff for me. So if franchise ain't up to par, hey, we going right back to MUT, and I guess I'll join me a 32-man salary cap league, and we gonna roll with that until they get this stuff right.
Mommy.
Man, before we all go, I'm just going to thank all of you guys for coming on, man. Y'all are always welcome. Man, Antoine.
Yeah, Antoine, yes.
Love the personality. Gameplay. I mean, that's so much reminds me of myself, man. Like, I don't want to hear nothing but gameplay. I guess it's because me and Smitty can kind of see the back end of it. We know all the logistics, so we can be a little more expansive, but gameplay. So, man, thank you for coming through, brother. Always showing support.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Always showing love.
Appreciate you, man, for real.
Always welcome. So we definitely get back at you, man. Same thing with you, Deron, man. Appreciate all the love and support. Thanks for coming on. Great ideas, and as fellow Steeler fan, that Mike Mitchell news might be great. I don't know if it's true, but we'll see. And Nighthawk, man, again, somebody who's always supporting, and I love the other side of the conversation. So that's always welcome. And man, you especially are welcome to come on anytime just to give us that balance, because we all have the same mindset. That's what I love. I love hearing guys who play MUT and all of that, but you are football minded and you still want franchise things to happen. So that's great. So Smitty, man, the last 6 minutes here. Make a break, man. Is this the year for whatever? Gameplay, CFM. Is this the make or break game? Like, how you feeling about that, man?
I mean, it's definitely make or break in the sense that we need to see the gameplay transition over to the opposite side of the spectrum in regards of seeing how the game gets enhanced with MUT, adding chemistries and things like that. We need to see all that stuff make it into play now. We need to see all that stuff make it into CFM. And like what I was saying earlier, like We need to see personally, my main thing is gameplay stuff. I want to see player movement better. I want to see passing better. I want to see more organic. And I mean, that's the theme of everything. I like a lot of the feedback that I give and a lot of the points I make publicly or privately are around organic gameplay. And that's because of what I play from some of these other games, from FIFA, from PES, from NHL and such. The organic play that happens in those games. You know, like I need to see receiver routes sped up. They need to run routes faster. You know, I need to see a lot more catching animations like we talked about before. Remember they said they had over 400 catch animations capped and over 300 trench animations. We need to see all that. We need to see all of it. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff needs to be happening, man. We need all of it in the game. You know, and like I said, you know, but as far as this year is concerned, like I said, I want to see more independent play, not relying on two-man sequential play, two-man animation, you know, sequences so much. I want to see a lot more of that. I want to see a lot, you know, the player movement. Hopefully we can see more refined player movement happen. Because they definitely need that. But then heck, I would also love to see animations just expanded across the board and sliders expanded across the board as well. So we have to wait and see what happens with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I want to see. I want to see sliders expanded upon. So therefore, we could tailor the game. And also, you know, well, no, sliders need to be expanded because just like what Czar did, we need sliders like that account for a lot more facets across the board instead of things being compiled into one. Like you got one tackle slider, but what about the strength of your pass rush? You know what I'm saying? We don't have any of that kind of stuff. So we need more expansive stuff so then we can adjust and tinker the game for us offline users, especially since Rex has said that the great majority of people that are playing the game are offline, you know, offline players. So that's what I'm saying. I want to definitely see that. So that's pretty much my big thing. Core gameplay stuff. And then whatever it is that they're able to do with franchise, at least expand it to make it more immersive. You know, we've talked about many different things, especially tonight, but just more immersion on that side. But my main thing is gameplay first. Then it's going to make more sense with what they do after the fact.
Yeah, man, and I feel the same way. I will say this, guys. Madden 19 is a make or break for me in terms of gameplay and franchise. And I might lean further to franchise. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we can't have another year, man. We can't have another year where there is no real significant upgrade. Because listen, like I said, gameplay is always first, but we know how that game goes. Every one of these games we play has issues. So, but definitely, I know what Antoine is saying is the same thing Smitty and I are saying. Get this stuff that's even in the game to function right. And then add those other elements. I feel like there's no reason why Madden 19 can't introduce better player movement or more physics. It's stuff that's there. Flush it out. I mean, Frostbite, the whole hype about Frostbite is not only sharing, you know, being on one, you know, code line or whatever, what the executive said, but along with that is the ease of sharing technology. It's time, man. It's time for that. It got over the Frostbite. We're not giving you a pass for 18. We're pissed about it, but that's in the past now. Now you have a year on this platform. I expect a lot of this stuff to be addressed in 19. I don't expect it to be a completely, totally different game, but to me, I feel like it's little stuff. I don't know how little it is, but I think some of these things you can flesh out. I really do. As far as franchise, monetized stuff, it's just like everybody else. I think if they do it, it's going to be one of those things like Nighthawk said, like Deron said, you know, pay this and you can get more information, unlock this, unlock that, pay this and you can have, you know, more visibility at the pro day, or you can go to this kid, you know, this combine, or, you know, pay this amount and you can, you know, think about NCAA, you can pitch him, you know, we can take him out to dinner or whatever, and you get more information, more stuff like that. I think that's where it would come from. I think it would be a huge, I don't think there's no other way to do it. So as far as some of you guys being afraid of the monetary thing, I wouldn't. And I'm still sticking to my guns. Smitty, I know he feels the same way. I don't think it's needed to build franchise. All of these other games have great franchises, and money didn't do that. So I don't think it's needed, but I'm not surprised at the fact that the suits or whatever, the investors would want that, because listen to the call. And listen to what Rex asked us a while back. Continuous service, live service. How do you make something live service like MUT? It's got to be some type of money aspect to keep people trying. Every time they drop new cards, like my man Nighthawk said, he going to spend another $10, $15, $20, whatever, get some more coins, pull them packs, or go in the auction block. So the fact that Rex asked us about live service, it wouldn't surprise me that they will try to find ways to incorporate microtransactions if you want that. But I don't think that has nothing to do with building franchise. It shouldn't, in my opinion. Last thing I will say, guys, and then we'll get out of here. Shout outs to Sonny, Four Verticals podcast. He posted a little while ago that he just wrapped up the interview with Rex Dixon. And listen to this. It says, and we hit on a ton, exclamation point. Solo CFM experience and a roadmap to improving AI, legacy bug fixes and getting them out, CFM depth, and where Madden stacks, and more and much more on the show. Sounds interesting. I encourage you to go listen to it. Why? Rex tends to tell you things. What Smitty alluded to, Rex tends to tell you that when he does things like interview with Sim, Four Verticals podcast, Muttman, his own stream. Go listen to it. I'm going to link. I think I have it already. I'm going to put a link to their channel in here. And guys, go check it out. He said it'll be up soon. It'll be on the NBL network, Madden Bomber League network. There's a link to the channel. Listen to it. Some of this stuff that he's saying, let me say this. I've heard Rex mention this before. But that's all I'm going to say. I will allow you to listen. I'll wait to see what Rex says, and then if it's something that I can concur, oh yeah, I did hear him say, we'll do that. But go listen to that podcast when it's available. I'm waiting. He said it should be up tonight. I'm going to wait and listen to it. But if, in case you missed that, let me read to you again what he says. They hit on a ton. Solo CFM experience. What does that sound like? And a roadmap to an improving AI. Legacy bug fixes and getting them out of the game, CFM depth, and where Madden stacks up, and much more. Two things I hit from that, Smitty. Solo CFM experience makes me think something like My Career, Superstar, something like that. But what I'm also happy to see is it also said CFM depth. Because maybe we'll get into this next week, but I'll give y'all a little teaser. I think it is time for them to do a My Career, My Player, et cetera, et cetera. You know, all the other games are doing it. Even Be a Pro. You know, FIFA had that and they had Journey. My Career, we know where that takes off. I think it's time for them to do that. UFC has it. But, standard career, you know, franchise, you're leading your team as a coach or GM needs to also be robust. I don't want to hear, and I don't know this, but if they are to introduce a superstar or something like that, I do not want to hear them say, well, the focus was getting a career. No. Base franchise, best to get some love. Point blank, period. Or I would be done playing that game as visual as I have been. I will still play it and give feedback, but I'm telling you, if Madden 19 is not at least rising in those areas and gameplay, y'all will just see me doing feedback videos from time to time, man. I might not even be in CS and SSR because I just no. There's other games out here that are much better in terms of, depth and gameplay. So there you have it. Outside of that, guys, check out the interview. I'm going to post the link here one more time in case you guys didn't get it. I will also put it in the description of the video once it archives here, but go check that out. And that's all I got, man. Anything you got, Smitty, before we sign out?
That's pretty much it. I'm with you all the way with what you're saying, though. As far as the game and what they add to it or what they don't. So it can't be a base game, but these elements, like I always say, do take time to build out. So they will, but they got to have something good, at least on the franchise side. My career would be a secondary thing. Franchise at the core, like what Sim said, base level, you got to take care of home first. Then you can add on the jacuzzi and the sauna and all that at the whirlpool. Add all that on afterwards. Take care of home first. Gameplay, core franchise. Bring that stuff over from MUT. Put it in the game. Put it in that mode. Tailor it. Whatever. Refine it. Boom. There you go. That's it. Monetize or not. You don't need to monetize it with all these other modes. My League, My GM, career mode in FIFA and all that stuff. None of those are monetized. You don't have to. You don't have to. I don't see why Madden would have to either. So I don't agree with that sentiment that it has to be so. But we'll see what happens. So
yep. And for whatever reason, Smitty, a lot of people who watch the show or even people who just watch my streams, they love when I give the real world female analogy. So here you go. Madden is wifey. I mean, franchise mode core is wifey. My career is a side chick. Which one you gonna take care of first? You better take care of home because the side chick might have a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 or 4 dogs. You can't live there. You better take care of home. Take care of wifey first. Then if you want to go out there fooling with your little side chick, that's on you. But that's all we got, man. Great show tonight. We love when guests come on, man. Don't forget, Godspeed. I'm going to store this email right now. Definitely, man, if you can make it next week, we'll bring you on same time every week, 8 p.m. Not sure what may have happened with the invite. But again, extending the invitation, guys. If y'all want to come on, please let us know. Shoot us the email. We get you on. We have a good time, man. Because, like I said, I'd rather just be y'all, and I'm more of a, the moderator. And me and Smitty just chilling, and we letting y'all do y'all thing. And this is for you guys. So, loved it tonight. Hope we have another one. Go check out that 4 Verts podcast. And we'll see y'all next week, man. Y'all be good. But you guys that are going to be off this coming Monday for the holiday, if that's what you want to call it that, thumbs up to you. I'll be off as well. So, catch you guys later, man. Y'all be easy. Peace.
Peace.